Welcome back to another episode of the Triple J Sports Podcast, picking up where we left off in part two of the season 2, appearance 2 of Noel Felix, former teammate of mine, Fresno State Bulldog alum, retired pro, with a ton of great stories, a lot of fun conversation around fatherhood and coaching and passing it on. And we'll pick up right where we left off from the first part as we keep going here, and hope you all enjoy the rest of this conversation with Noel Felix. And another shout out to Give Culture and our collaboration here at Big Valley with them, our Give Value campaign. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks again to Noel for jumping in the car, coming down to Sac and recording. Had a great time in the studio, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this episode. Triple J Sports Podcast coming at you now. Part 2 of 2 with Noel Felix.
Everybody, like, he wasn't thinking, I'm going to be the next so-and-so, but there's some guys that's out there like, I want to be the next so-and-so. And that's the difference, man, with guys that you share a locker room with.
And when you start talking about God-given gifts, like height, athletic ability, physical abilities, skill sets, you get put on a path with, this is where you're going to go because this is natural ability. Like I used to get told all the time, you should be playing baseball because at 6'7", left-handed, you walk on a baseball field as a pitcher and you are looked at like a 7'2", basketball player. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you love the game the same way that, so there is an element of the competitiveness that's such a good point with your time, like looking. I know we talked a little bit about your experience in Seattle with Ray Allen, and when he broke the record and riding in his car. Talk a little bit about that time, like some of the who was on the team at that time, who were the guys that you connected with and knew, and any stories from that time in Seattle that really jump out at you?
A lot of them. One off the top, Earl Watson, a guy I respect tremendously, man. Just a pro, come to work, do his thing. Kind of took me under his wing. A lot of guys took me under their wing. Ray Allen took me under his wing, and I appreciated my time with him. You get to that point with your teammates where you could talk to them about anything, and I took advantage of that as much as I could because I respected them and their successes before I even got a chance to share a locker room with them. So Ray was one of those guys. Danny Forson was one of those guys. And Danny at that time, to me, was on two different pages with the organization. But I looked at him no different. I looked at him as a player that I wanted to compete against and learn from. Mikey Moore, another one, Mateen Cleaves, a guy I have tremendous respect for, leader, point guard. Nick Collison, same year, a guy, again, I respect. I'm a fan of,
big time,
playing with these guys. Robert Swift was another guy that I really, really admired and respected because, one, I spent time with him off the court. And two, I remember him coming from Bakersfield to watch our practices with Tark. So, like, to be his teammate, another little full circle in my life. Rashard Lewis, a guy that always pushed me, like, you got to get your money. I would guard him in practice.
He turned his story into one of those, like, hey, like he and Gilbert Arenas and a few of those others where, his obviously coming out of high school, but like ending up second round, working his way into his big contract with Orlando and having to prove it. That story, resonates with people because it becomes an underdog. So you were with Rashad.
Rashad's another one, man. And Gil, I love Gil, man, and I'm so proud of his success because Gil always had that kind of personality, and I feel like to the level he's at, he kind of did it his way. But as a basketball player, man, one of the most talented dudes I've ever seen, wearing like track shoes, wearing like running Adidas shoes, and would still get busy, give you 50 in high school at Grant. So I was a fan of his from when we were in high school. And I played against him a little bit in the NBA when I got a chance to. But just, I mean, going back to my team in Seattle, man, like Luke Ridnour, you know, another great player, Mike Wilkes, who I played with in college. And one thing that I appreciate about Mike Wilkes, and, man, I hope he hears this, man, we were working out together one time, and he told me something. I think about it every time I go in the gym and work out. He said, you got another gear in you. And I was like, So now I'm like, when I talk to my team, I'm telling them, like, you got to do everything game speed when you're working on your game, because then it becomes easier on the court. And now you're able to make the reads, because if you're not doing it hard in practice, it takes that much longer to translate, because everybody is not just roll the ball out and they get busy. Everybody's not Allen Iverson like that. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So, like, you got to work on your skill set. And when Mike shared that with me, that's something that will always stick with me. So he's another guy that I have a lot of respect for. And there's other guys on that team, too, that I enjoy spending time with that I could think of at the top of my head. Let me think. Because I was Reggie Evans, another one, too.
I got to say this about, Reggie Evans, Mike Wilkes, right? So Mike Wilkes is one of those guys that Rice, you know, went to Rice.
Oh, yeah. We had to deal with them at Rice.
Right? And
we had to deal with Mike and them.
And he's very close and always has been very close with Gus Armstead out here in Sacramento. And, you know, shout out to, you know, all of Gus's kids, because they've all been successes. Yeah. Most know Eric, his son, who, you know, had a great run with the 49ers and now is in, you know, Jacksonville. But Gus is synonymous with Sacramento basketball, right? Like, that's where you go to work out, the pro-ams, where most of the guys I met with, it was like you go work out with Al B and Connie and lift and get stronger, then you go hoop with Gus and that crew. But Mike was like his guy. And I played in a lot of pro-ams, worked out a lot with Mike, and Mike was always so good to me, like so nice. He didn't have to be. I was a young, you know, high school kid, you know, trying to find my scholarship, find my way.
It's a grind.
And so I always remembered the way Mike treated me, distributed. He and Matt Barnes were two of the guys I used to play in the pro-ams with, and I was always like, yes, I get to play with them, because they both are working on their NBA games, and they would distribute. Like, I'd come off a screen, Mike would deliver it, I'd catch and shoot. Nice. I actually caught a few lobs from Matt Barnes. Like, you know, I love him, my man, Isaac Fontaine, ex-Jesuit guy. He was a scorer. I'd be on a team with him. I'm like, I'm not getting any touches tonight, like, 'cause he's out here to hoop. But Mike is one of those guys, like, his lineage and his connections and Gus Armstead and what he's done, like I mentioned, Gabe Vincent, some of these. There are so many guys, Phil Ritchie, that Gus has affected, and you know, Sacramento Hoops is like,
that's cool, man.
Gus is the center. You playing with Mike, I think that's really cool, and I know Mike's coaching now too. You
got a ring with OKC, man.
Yeah, with OKC, and I think it's a really cool organization for him to be with.
Yeah, he's been with him. I don't know if he's ever left.
Yeah, you know? Like, that's been
when they went to, you know, from Seattle to OKC, I don't know if he left and came back. I'm not sure. But to see him there, I'm like, wow, that's cool to be there and get a ring with a team, you know, when they moved from Seattle to Oklahoma.
And he had to grind his way into the NBA. Like, he is a perfect example of.
As good as he was, too.
Yeah, and he was a baller at Rice, right? But, like, to work his way in. And I always look at it like the guys that Gus has, like Matt Barnes, a great example, right? Gets drafted, it doesn't quite work out, goes to Memphis, he's with Gus, puts in the work with Al and Gus, works his way in. Mike was the same way, Gabe Vincent the same way. So, you know, that's
something I appreciate too, like with Matt Barnes, and because I remember playing against Matt Barnes at the pump camp way back in the 90s, and a guy I respect, and like just his successes too in these platforms now where we get to share our stories and also get to talk about his basketball experiences, man. Like, I always have respected him from afar, and it's good to see guys that you get a chance to cross paths with on the court be successful and share stories to help kids avoid some of the mistakes that they've made and the adversity they've gone through as players too.
Yep, absolutely, right?
I think it's pretty cool.
Like, people expect athletes in a weird way to not be human, right? Like, you live a life like you have significant others, kids, social lives, all sorts of maturing and growing up. And I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing it with college, with kids getting money, but like, God, you know, give a kid 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Good luck getting that kid to make perfect decisions his whole life, right?
Yeah, it's asking a lot.
It is, right? And frankly, making mistakes is a part of growing up.
Yes.
But the way that the world has evolved, right? Like those mistakes are so public because of social media and everybody sees them, whereas a lot of that could be hidden before, right?
Right.
I think the pressure to avoid those is definitely higher. Certainly the opportunity to make money, especially in college through NIL, has provided kids a platform. Yeah. Gosh, I wish NIL existed. I could have gotten a whole different start out in my life.
It's a paving the way thing, man. Like the guys before us, the Norm Nixons of the world, all the people that have fought for like things like collective bargaining agreement for pros and stuff like that. I remember an article when we were in college where Jason Richardson talked about, at the time he was at Michigan State, he talked about how players should be compensated, you know. You take it even back before them, you know, the Fab Five. You know, everybody at some point had those all-black Nike socks with the gray check on the side, and it was because of the Fab Five. So, like,
Weber, Jalen Rose,
right? Yeah, man.
You know, that whole crew, right? Like,
yeah, King, all of them.
King,
they were all special.
Jawan Howard.
It was lightning in a bottle, man, and it was just because of their talent and their play, and so they did it their way, and those successes were those successes of that time. But a lot of kids now, man, you know, hearing these podcasts and being able to share our stories, it will definitely help them along the line, man, and down the line where they're like, man, like me, I could share a story about a guy like in Mike Wilkes, Coach Mike Wilkes, telling me, you got another gear in you. Like anything somebody says that you look up to, getting their 2 cents, it can make you successful because it worked for them. It should work for you too.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So.
And to me, it's so cool to hear a guy like Mike have an effect on you, right? And knowing the you know, the history behind it, and then again the guys that, like, you know, I'm sure you know, Mike, if you ever watch this, would love to have you on, man. But
him, Earl Watson too, man. Knowing Earl Watson, Say No Classic, playing with him in that back in the day.
No doubt, right? Like and I've talked with Gus Armstead, and he's graciously agreed to come on, and I think he's touched so many guys in terms of how he's affected their opportunity to get to the career. And then when you realize that they passed that on, right? Looking at, you know, maybe some of the stories that, you know, kind of shape a career, I think it's tons of fun to talk about. Yeah. For me, I'm always like the lessons guy, the serious. But you know me as a clown, and you know that I'm, you know, frankly, most stuff I can't take serious in the right environment. But like looking back at your like Cleveland and, you know, Seattle runs and some of that, what are some of the things that you look back and think, you know, like, that was wild, like that was crazy, like those are funny, memorable stories? Like,
so I don't know if I shared this one with you. Did I ever share with you I went to a Halloween party with LeBron?
You started to last time, but let's, you know what?
So man, it was one of the coolest because I think Rich was Axel Foley from Bellevue Hills Cop. I rented a huge like a phantom, like a big old head, big old black like cape, and it had a skull that had to be like 2 to 3 feet big. And so like my head, I was standing up, and then the head, my body 6'9", and then the head of it made me like probably 10 feet tall. So I put this suit on, and I'm like, it's gonna be crazy. So LeBron was King Leonidas for Halloween. And so I come in there, man, and like everybody's looking like, who is that? They thought I was Ilgauskas. They thought I was Big Z.
Big
And
Z.
so I walk in there, man, and I got this big old Halloween costume on at this Halloween party. And I take my my helmet off, and they're like, oh, that's Noel. So I end up winning a TV in his Halloween party. I won a TV, man. And it was so long ago. It was a TV with the, I think it was a VHS or DVD input on the bottom of the screen. So that's a crazy
we're dating
story.
ourselves right now when it's got that.
That was a crazy thing, man. And I was like, man, I won a little Halloween costume party hosted by LeBron and his family, man. So just a story that is super cool. And I got a picture with him. I had my helmet off, but he was Leonidas next to me. And I don't know what that picture is, but just one of the memories that I had with him, and it was super cool, man.
All right, well, LeBron or anybody in Team LeBron, if you've got that photo.
It's a cool one.
Our contact info, Triple J
it was dope.
Studios. Let's get that in. We'd love to share that and show it.
It was dope.
The opportunity to share that experience. I think everybody reaches a point kind of in their career where you like look around and you're trying to figure out where your place is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like me getting to Fresno, first thing was, do I belong?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a late deal going up against CJ, Chris Jeffries every day.
Yeah.
Used to be my favorite thing in the world to get stops and to rip him right at the rim because he was so much stronger. He was 6'9"
you couldn't meet it at the top.
Pounds.
Once he gets up, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and usually after I stripped him a couple times, the next thing would be a shoulder into my chest, so I couldn't, and then he would dunk on me and a few choice words to tell me don't foul me again, and I'd be like, wasn't a foul, I stripped you, but yes, okay, you dunked on me, and I always enjoyed his commentary because he was hilarious. You and Hiram going at it. Mustafa Al Sayed, one of our guys,
special dude,
worst elbows in the world.
You feel him.
Pretty sure I'm a couple of my teeth lost are responsible from him. Melvin was the guy. He was our guy. What do you like? Obviously, Mel and I talked a bunch, and then he kind of comes in and out. Mel's got to get on the show. I got to get Mel on here.
Shout out to Mel, man. We got to get Mel. Mel was he was my roommate my freshman year, and one of the best guys I've ever met. Just very, very Mel got a big heart. He's a giver. And he's very kind. You know what I mean? And every time I talk to him, I wish I talked to him more. But every time I talk to him, it's almost like a picking up where we left off, and we just chop it up. But I learned a lot from him, man. His post presence, the way he scored the ball for us, his leadership. Everybody knew how good he was, and he was good consistently. I think that was cool to watch, man. I learned a lot from him. But going back to Chris Jeffries, man. I appreciate Chris Jeffries and Silas Willis in this aspect, man. I'm very appreciative of what we've experienced at Fresno State, and the fans in that community. It's priceless. The way they talk about how we were as a team at that time in our winning 20 games a season. You know what I mean? That's pretty awesome. But to this day, man, I still get to play ball with Shannon Willis. You know what I mean?
Shannon still hooping.
Sunday morning run. It's cool to see that. Sometimes his son will play. Sometimes my son will play. Just seeing Chris Jeffries at Fresno State games, just talking basketball with him. Him watching our Clovis High team play, him helping out at Hoover High, in the community, still giving the game back. I think that's really cool
guys
to see.
out now.
Yeah, it's cool to see that, man, because there's so much in him. And Swillis as well. All of us, it doesn't, when you learn as much as you learn, when you commit so much to this game, it has to go back.
Yeah.
Because when I retired, man, I did not want to coach because I gave basketball so much. I was ready for what's next. I've had a family at that point.
Yep.
But you got to give it back. You know what I mean? And then it's just
hard to watch it and not want to coach.
Yeah, you got to give some of it back, man. And all of us are students of the game to this day. And I'm always open to learning new things because basketball is a teacher in so many levels, not just consistency, persevering, hard work, but in making reads, being patient, shooting, keeping your form up. All those things matter. So, like, I watch teams just to watch how they look on offense, how they look on defense, how do they help, how do they read. And I'm on the bench now coaching my team, talking like I'm on the court playing D. I don't know how to shut that off, you know, because it was successful for me. It was successful for me to do that. So, like, I enjoy it, man, every single bit of it. But being able to see these guys now in our older age and, you know, still involved with the game, still in the community where we were successful as a team, it's priceless, bro. It really is.
That's a big thing. Like, I love, you know, I think it's cool when I go back and I see, obviously, Travis DeMamby and Damon
Trav played too. Trav played a little bit too. I know he's busier now, but he definitely got it in. We got it in a little bit.
He got like an army of kids.
Yep.
So.
Damon too. Damon plays too.
And Dame too.
Yep.
But, you know, the number of you that are out there, you know, I'm always catching up with Michi Porter, and again, Center Cork Wine. I'm gonna throw another shout out for Center Cork.
Yeah, Meech, keep going, man.
Keep going, dude.
Yep.
Just get your people with my people. We'll get you scored away. If you don't already, go to Center Cork, get yourself some wine, support the brand. Meech is off doing his thing.
Yeah, Michi.
We love you, brother.
Yep.
But there's so many of you guys out there doing it in the area, and I think it's cool.
Let me say this about Michi, man. A guy I've known, again, since the pump camp, him coming with, I mean, Deshaun Stevenson, Doug Wren, him, Brett Nelson, Carlos Boozer. Shout out to Carlos Boozer, man. Your son is killing it. Stay healthy. Go get it, man. But Michi was a guy that always made me feel confident in my game. Like, he always loved my game. He's, like, always having fun playing with him on the court. So, shout out to you, Meech. Love you, bro.
Yeah, that, you know, what he's doing, he's one of those guys I catch up and we get going, and then he's so busy, running. Man. He's always chasing down different things, you know, working with different guys with what he's doing with Wasserman plus Center Cork. But
rocking and rolling.
But I think it's cool. And then, you know, like, I remember a lot of the stuff that, like, I knew leading into my decision to go to Fresno State. And, you know, the irony, I worked out at several schools, baseball, basketball. I had my choices. Randy Bennett and their guys down there recruited me to St. Mary's, which probably would have been a pretty good fit for a guy like me. I played like absolute dog shit at St. Mary's. Like, I don't, you know, the ball was an old school leather ball. The gym, like,
it's one of them days. One of them days.
I don't blame them for looking like, dude, he can't wear a jersey on ours. Like, I was terrible. Like, very weird, right?
Leave that game in the shop, man. Move on.
It was like, it was a weird deal, right? But then came down, you know, and you know, Coach Welch watched me most of the summer, and I had a couple plays where at a summer league game in Fresno, was able to show some of my athleticism and my ability to get up and dunk on people, and that, I think, for Coach Welch was kind of like the icebreaker to go, not only can he shoot and play, but like, oh, he's athletic.
Yeah.
And he called me the next day, and then I came down and worked out, and I remember for me when you started talking about like how things align, doing shooting workouts, and I knew I could shoot.
Yeah.
And I was a confident shooter, but even at the end of like 50 shot reps, I'd be like, okay, I was smoking. Like, I made like 48 or 49 out of 50. Like, all right. Like, and then when we would play with the guys you brought out, like, I'm in the zone. Like, I'm hooping.
Yeah.
And, you know, ended up getting there, and it was dependent on Shannon Swillis and his scholarship and joining and playing. Like, do I belong? Going through that whole experience, you find out about yourself a lot of these different things, and then you connect with people. And, you know, I saw a lot before I went there, right, of what I thought, like, I didn't know you or Hiram or, gosh, the freshmen that were there, Teddy Fletcher, Matt Mitchell, Shamar Armstrong, his older brother, right, BJ
Inglewood
Armstrong,
High, Teddy Fletcher. Shout out to Teddy. Yep.
You know, his brother who had just, you know, been through it and been to the league. and Damon and Trav, like Tito, Maddox, Mel, like there was all these guys. I do remember they had me go up against Melvin in the workout, which looking back, like what a weird matchup because
I got you.
Melvin couldn't guard me on that, so I got any shot I wanted on the perimeter. But like, then he'd post me up, and I'd be like, "What am I supposed to do with this dude on the block?"
Nothing you could do, man. But he got too much down there,
right?
He got too much.
But it was driving him crazy. I was scoring, but I say that because there was other guys before, like Courtney Alexander and Larry Abney and Terrence Roberson, and Chris Herron, and obviously
Courtney Alexander.
You know, all those guys and the stories that I had heard. I look up a lot, like, to Chris Herron today at what he's done with his foundation. Yeah. And I have a tremendous amount of admiration and respect for the things I see him doing.
Yeah, I got a chance to see him do his assembly at Clovis High School. And his story is powerful, bro. And to cross paths with him as a pro, to when I came to Fresno State to look at this school as one of my options at that time, I watched him play, and he was legit, man. And just a dog, you know, Fall River, just got after it. And his story is his story. And I would say, to make a long story short with him, he definitely turned his mess of a life into a message. And it's powerful, and it touches a lot of people, including the kids that I got a chance to talk to after he had his assembly at our school. So very, 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 very proud of him and his successes to this day, man.
Very much like, you know, he's one, like, we've exchanged some messages in the past.
Yeah.
I would really like to connect with him and talk. There's a lot that I think
it'd be something special, bro. It'd be special.
Because what he's doing, and for those that don't know Chris's story, it's pretty well documented, but he, you know, was Boston product, went through his own addiction issues, had not only did those to deal with through college, got a tremendous amount of support from Coach Tarkanian and the staff through it, ended up still getting drafted. But his experience in the NBA, where he kind of bottomed out, is like the stuff of, I don't know if you want to call it like horror stories or movies. Like, it is like the thing that it's
you don't want to see anybody
you don't want to see anybody go through that, right? Yeah. But what he survived and what he's done with it is seriously one of the most inspiring things that you can possibly put together.
Dude. He's a powerful dude, man, and he makes the decision every day to continue to, you know, do what he do best, and that's be a father and, you know, do his thing. And I'm just proud of him and his successes from all the way from that stuff to this day, bro.
Owning it all, and you know, and then you've, like you said, Shannon Swillis and Larry Abney and Terrence Roberson, all these guys. Those are guys that I'd all heard about, and I remember the stories of, you know, like Courtney Alexander before I got there.
Oh yeah, that
and pick up with like him and Bruce Bowen, and, you know, Bruce Bowen, who was at that time, you know, the Spurs lockdown guy, and it was just such a great environment at Fresno. Like, you just around NBA guys, and like I said, for me, that was where I looked around and I'm going, all right, I'm getting up every morning, going with Coach Welch. We're working out. He's teaching me how to put together footwork. He's complimenting me on the things that are really challenging me on what I need to get better. I believe in the things that I'm being taught.
Right.
And I'm around a whole bunch of pros. And
and
that,
a lot of pros, man. And then in the area, pros coming up, you know, Quincy Pondexter, you know, another kid that Fresno, born and raised, tradition, family. Pondexters are good players. And he ended up having a great pro career. He didn't go to Fresno State, but just that area, you know,
the whole area,
pros were being
Central
bred,
Valley,
man, you know.
Yep. And then you had, you know, obviously Paul George ended up coming kind of later, you know, later through the ranks. And, you know, there were some guys that came in and out that didn't, like, I remember Julian Sensley at one point was through, and you know, that environment, I think, from a college perspective was amazing. The careers that you guys all had. Very cool. Like, what are some of your favorite memories out of your Fresno State days? Like, out of that run and your time.
Making the tournament, man, the first year because, you know, it was Selection Sunday, and we went to the Bulldog Brewery to get it announced, and our reaction made the paper. It's pretty cool. I was like, what? Everybody's like, yay. So that was one of the most amazing moments. And just getting 2 rings in college, you know, that's something that, you know, nobody could take from us, you know, those successes. And my freshman year, we also beat Tulsa, coached by Bill Self at that time. I think we beat them every single time we played them. We beat them in Tulsa, we beat them at home, and we beat them to win the WAC conference, which got us our berth to the NCAA tournament. So that freshman year was pretty cool, man. And Courtney was a lottery pick. Yeah. And he was one of the, at that point in my career, he was the best player I've ever seen because of his jump shot and leading the nation in scoring at Fresno State. So shout out to him, man. I learned a lot from him too. Talk about consistency, hard work. I mean, and at that point when I met him, one of the people in his sphere of influence was Michael Jordan himself. So he was getting Jordans, man, before, like, what did you get? What are, you know what I mean? So to see
That's
a guy
wild.
like that, yeah, to see a guy like that and see his level of success.
He's
in
that
college,
close to our hero, right? To the Jordan.
Like I was really amazed, and I soaked in it as much as I could, you know. And another one that I want to shout out, who I've been recently talking to, is Nick Irvin. Nick Irvin's at Arizona State, so just being able to connect with him again is pretty cool in a full circle because another person that I really, really respected. And his brother recruited me to Loyola Chicago when I was in high school. Yep. Mac Irvin. Yep.
See, in that the Chicago now, and I every time I think Chicago, right, first thing I think of, obviously Melvin, Nick,
many players.
My old
Randy
teammate,
Holcomb.
Randy Holcomb. That's right. My old teammate from Davis, Rob Easton, is now the head coach at University of Chicago, Illinois, and I'm you know, following their program all the time. Yeah. Great coach, great guy, great recruiter. You know, I look like there are legends. Skip to my Lou, Ray for Alston that came through, right? That you know, played with Chris. Who's
also still very involved and want to see us be successful. He'll come down to Fresno State anytime. So I think that'd be another person I think would come and sit down with you for sure, man.
Oh man, dude, that would be amazing, right? Like, would love to, you know, because his story's so cool because he is the. I don't want to say maybe he's not the only because there may be some others that have pseudo done it, like Jason Williams essentially brought a little like white chocolate, brought that to the NBA degree, but really Rafer was like the first to bring street ball to the NBA. Yeah,
people benefit from the foundation of and one to this day,
without a doubt,
which is a great thing because it's just another lane of basketball where people could be successful.
And the reputation and watching him play and all those connections. And I've always felt so lucky to be a part of that, and I've watched some things. Chris Herron on a couple of his. I think he ran into Larry Johnson at some point, kind of off the cuff, and they connected. And he mentioned, I probably was on like a Vlad TV thing where he just said, like you play for Coach Tark, like there's just something that connects you for life, right? And I'm like, I think
you talk about connect you for life, man. I got to tell you this. So we had a preseason tournament at the Jerry Tarkanian Invitational. And, we went with our team, and we won it. We won the Jerry Tarkanian preseason invitational. And in my mind, I'm like, we better win it because I want to, my coach's thing. I'm looking around, the silhouette of him with his towel. And so they passed out towels. The one he used to have sitting next to him on the bench.
Yep.
Man, I got that towel in my bag. I kept it in my bag. I'm going to keep it in my bag as long as I can. Because I'm like, that dude had that towel sitting right next to him, and it was just what it was. No one touched it. It had its own world just sitting right next to him, and he sucked that towel, man. But I kept my towel, bro, because they passed them out at the Tark Invitational. And I was like, looked at it, it's like, Jerry Tarkanian Invitational. I'm keeping this in my bag. So I always keep it in my bag.
You my story with him is so funny because, like, and by the way, I preface this with knowing I absolutely knew he was full of shit and didn't really mean this when he said this to me. But he was a coach who was trying to instill confidence or was instilling confidence in a guy. Like, and as you know, like, I had a tremendous amount of confidence as a shooter. I was a good shooter, but shooting in that program with Coach Welch and his coaching and Coach Tark's confidence, I didn't miss a whole lot. Like I was pretty consistent.
Yeah.
And we went through and I'd be on scout team a lot. We'd run, times I'd be running a guy that we're trying to, and we'd run play after play, and it'd be like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 shots in a row. And he'd stop practice and go off like, seriously, you guys can't stop, Phil. Phil, like, how are we going to stop? But I remember him calling me into his office one day and him saying this, and I knew. I left and I was like, no way does he mean that. Yeah. But the fact that he just lied to me to tell me this gives him the most amount of confidence. So he said something to me along the lines. He's like, you are, if not the best, one of the best shooters I've ever coached. And I was like, okay, I know the guys that you've coached, and I know that that's not actually a full truth, but you just said that to me knowing, like, essentially what you're trying to tell me is that, like, I could be. And the fact that you're willing to do that was like, I left like, well, then I want to be that. Like, I want to be that guy that you actually,
No, I echo that, man. I think we talked about that before. He finds a way, and that's coaching too. He finds a way to pull out the best in you, because he always used to tell me stuff, because I get in foul trouble and I have to sit. In college, you get 2 fouls in the first half. You got to sit. So it's a whole thing. And I struggled with that because I was so athletic, and I wanted to. I mean, I think I made top 10 blocks all time at Fresno State.
Did.
But I would get in foul trouble. And so he would always like, oh, gosh, I want to play you more. I got to play you more. And I was like, that's a cool problem to have. Your coach tells you he wants to play you more. So that always made me want to find a way to stay on the court longer, obviously. But I didn't figure it out till I got a little older and became a pro.
Well, one of the things he told me, through Coach Welch and my freshman year, like, I was supposed to redshirt. Yeah. Hey, brought me in. We actually are way surprised you're way further along we think you can play. Now, like, they needed someone to spell Chris and a couple minutes, but you're further along. We have one thing we're worried about. We know you'll make shots. Just, can you rebound? Which was like, oh, you just gave me my ticket to playing? Yeah. Oh, now I'm going to be the best rebounder. Yeah. When I ended up at Davis, I had so many double-doubles, and I was one of the best rebounders in the program. Cool, and, like, man, it goes all the way back to that, like, level of commitment that he instilled in me as a rebounder. But the things that he, says, have an impact. And you, talking about athleticism, one of my favorite memories of you on the bench at the LA Forum in
Gonzaga,
against Gonzaga with Dan Dickow and that crew, like when Gonzaga was on the rise with Mark Few.
Yeah, they were on the rise for sure.
And Teddy Fletcher and I and Shamar Armstead were all sitting there watching. And I'll never forget, I think it was a Damon jump shot, although it could have been a CJ. Back rim 3 bounces up, and it's straight in the air, and you pogo stick jump flat-footed and tip dunked it. Yeah. And the three of us all looked around like, that's freakish. Like, athleticism.
I remember, man.
One of my favorite memories, like, you timed it.
Yeah, I tried to time him.
And watching Dan Dickow, and he lit us up. God, he hit a lot of threes. And now he was one of the guys I remember thinking, like, if this guy's an NBA prospect, and I'm in the roster, I'm looking around, I'm going, like, this is my, like, evidence that it's feasible, right? That I'm taller than him, I'm more athletic, I'm going through all these checklist items and saying it's feasible. And being around that environment.
He also had John Stockton in his ear too.
This is true. He had some other things, but when you're looking for the confidence boost, right?
You got John Stockton talking to you,
no doubt.
You're good to go,
and all that. And then you kind of tying this all together. I mean, some of the stories, like in the NBA, who name some of the guys that you connected with, that you would say you formed either the strongest bonds with or the ones that made the biggest impact. Obviously, when Ray Allen and LeBron and these and big names, like, they make an impact on you. Like,
they do.
I mean, hey, if we're talking big dreams, like let LeBron ever get LeBron on here, I'll be the happiest guy ever.
Well, one guy I would say going back to Seattle was Reggie Evans, and the reason why is because I had some conversations. I hung out with Rashard a lot, Rashard Lewis, just very welcoming dude. I respected him because he was a big guard and he went out of high school.
Yeah,
and so
it was a very difficult path that he had to then overcome.
But one thing that stuck with me that I appreciated. We talked about Reggie Evans, and he was like, man, you look at Reggie Evans, it's like every single day, no matter what, you know what you're going to get from him. He's going to crash that glass, he's going to crash it, and he's going to crash it a little bit more. That's all you're going to get from him 100% of the time. And for stretches in Reggie Evans' career, man, he would just about almost lead the league in rebounding. He's just crashed the glass relentlessly. And if he wasn't leading the league, he was close to it. And so, like, just the day-to-day, that stuck with me seeing him crash the glass like that. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have the best jump shot, but he would get every single rebound. And you almost couldn't even stop him. That was one guy. Another guy, Nick Collison. Nick Collison is a guy, again, just being a peer, class of 99, always respected and looked up to him. But he had plantar fasciitis, and it ruptured. So when he tore like in the bottom of his foot, man, he had to be in a boot for a little bit. I got a chance to play because he was out. So like little things like that, seeing him go through those things and, coming back and doing his thing, those are guys that I always respected, and like banging with him in practice and stuff like that was pretty cool. Another guy Ronald Murray, Flip Murray, he was another guy that he was one of the hardest dudes that I ever had to guard in practice, because I didn't know the way he positioned the ball to shoot or to drive was in a spot where you couldn't tell. So it was hard to guard him in practice. Just a guy, I respected his game, and it was like I didn't figure out how to stop him. I did not figure out how to stop him at all. So like those things were pretty cool. And then another thing I would say, playing the Denver Nuggets, I really admire Carmelo Anthony. I love his game, what his son is doing. I always thought that he was super, super talented, because our senior year, he was that diaper dandy freshman leading Syracuse all the way to win it. And so just a guy outside looking in, just never really was a teammate, but he was one of those dudes, man. I remember I went to Summer League, and I just saw him walking. I just dapped him up. We didn't say a word. I just dapped him. Like, man, I respect your game, man. You like that. And then another guy that stuck with me that I really was like, this dude is going to be special, was Joe Johnson. So I went to
Joe.
Yeah. Oh, man. I went to camp with Joe. And, we went to Summer League, and he dropped like 40, 45. But Joe was so good, man. And we did training in the summers at St. Monica High School in Santa Monica. And me, him, Tim Gergovich was running the camp. Or the workout. It was a private little training, me, him, and some other guys. And Casey Jacobson was there as well. Shout out to Casey.
Casey, he was.
But, man, Joe Johnson,
in high school.
Joe Johnson was so gifted, bro. And I was like, and he was 6'8". So I'm like, wow. He was one of those guys like, yeah, he's going to be in the NBA a long time. And now he got, 20,000 points now in the NBA?
Right.
So, yeah, just a guy. And then, spend time with Joe. We'll go work out, go to lunch. Like, just a guy I respect. His game, I always loved watching him play. And he was clutch. So I was like, man, Joe Johnson was like that. So there's a lot of guys that I watched play, cross paths with, and I just was happy I did cross paths with those dudes, man.
Get that influence.
Yeah.
See, that's
another one. I'll tell you another one. Yao Ming. Yao Ming's another one. So the reason why Yao Ming is such a special one, and I'm going to say shout out to Alex Scales. He went to University of Oregon. We both went to camp with the Sonics. Alex Scales is a pro. Score machine. We had the same agent at the time. And Todd Ely, shout out to you, Todd. Man, Alex Scales was a bucket. He had this play where he went baseline, and he did like a 360 dunk, bro, going baseline. It was one of the coolest dunks I've ever seen. Rick Brunson, another guy on our team, his son killing it with the Knicks. Like so many players, man. And then like you look at Rick Brunson, his son is a product of his dad pouring into him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And good, bad, or ugly, look at his son, all-star, right?
All-star.
So, like, just a lot of guys. And being around long enough to see the next generation come in these players' kids, it's really priceless, bro. So, like, there's so many players, like, I could keep going naming them, but there's so many players that I have just, like, appreciate their success and try to take from them as well.
Being, sharing paths with them, I think that's like I feel that way about my time, at Fresno State, at Davis. Like, people don't understand what it's like to share a locker room or be a part of a team.
Yeah.
No matter how long that period is, there's a bond, there's a connection, and then there's a shared agenda and respect that is, something that really, propels you through life in a lot of ways, because it's a level of confidence and trust. I talk a lot about this on the show. Like, when your career ends, I think the hardest thing for athletes is like identity crisis level stuff of, well, who am I? What am I now that I'm not that? I know I definitely went through it, a few years ago, almost 20 years late, because I was always so busy with things. But there, many guys and Mel and you and there are several guys who I reconnected with. My old teammate JP Howell, who had a long baseball career.
Good stuff.
That kind of helped me reconnect with that, and I think that journey of figuring that out is a big part, and all these people we connect with and the respect.
Yeah, man.
I remember, like, same things. Like I said, Bennett Davison and Jason Capono. I remember working out with those guys in the summer. Jason kind of gave me the wake up call as to, like, I got work to do as a shooter because of how much.
AAU with Capono, man. Like, he's a bucket, man. They was running plays for him to win games at UCLA when he was a freshman.
And
that's how good of a shooter he was.
Then you put him like that Miami team and like but like one dribble, his numbers were dramatically different than catch and shoot. And I used to like look at it like,
the little things,
he was catch and shoot, but it was super, super awesome to work out with these guys. I think the thing that, when you talk about the different guys, they all leave a little mark, and there's a respect and an element of, what you take from them. And, when you mention a couple of them, like I look back and I think, those are names that, like, they left marks that are pretty significant in a lot of ways. And, when you look back at your career, all those things and touch points and relationships, what do you value the most? And I'll frame it from the standpoint of, like, what I love now as a father is the ability to offer my kids, my daughters, my son, an insight and a connection into a lane. Like, whether they fall in love with it or not, it's an opportunity to see into a world that the average person that has never been exposed to it doesn't understand. And I was so happy the other night. Like, obviously, UC Davis is where I graduated. Jim Les has done wonderful things with the program out there. Another former King. Would have loved to have also played for a guy like that. Hey, let it fly.
Go to work,
But what Mike Bibby's doing with Brad Miller over at Sac State right now is really cool as a Sac native. And Al Biancani, who's been the King strength coach and was a legend for all those years, that was a part of all those workouts, is there. And shout out Al being, not only being on the show, but hooking us up with tickets and giving my son and cool. Some of his friends such an awesome experience last night. And for Brad Miller and Mike to come out and give them the time and sign, and their kids to come out, and Shaq's son Shakir came out. Like, that for me as a father, now I look at it and I'm like,
it's pretty cool.
so
cool.
grateful that like I have an opportunity to show them that and inspire them. And I think, like I told you after practice yesterday, that was 2 of the hardest hours I've ever seen my 10-year-old son work out. Was
something was birthed in
like
him, man.
you know, like he was locked in on wanting to get better, and those are all the things that we, you know, we look at and we say coaches did that to us and go down. So we're as we kind of head and wrap here. Tell me, like, looking back, give me some of the give me either your, you know, most favorite memory or the funniest memory that you can pull off of our Fresno State run. One, we'll go there, and when we've got that one, and then out of your pro career.
Man, one time I think we were playing in TCU. And it was snowing at the time, and I don't know if you were there, but Tark fell under the bus in the ice.
I heard about this, so this was the year before I got there.
Yeah,
so he slipped.
He was walking, and he slid, and he just kept sliding, and he slid almost under the bus. Everybody's like, "Did Tark just slide under the bus?" Walking to the bus from practice. That was one of the funniest stories ever. And he's so tough, man. He gets up and he moves on.
Yep.
There was another time, man, my freshman year, we're in practice, man, and I think Terrence Roberson threw like a chest pass. And I don't know who the pass was to. I don't remember it, but it hit Tark right in the nose. Broke his glasses, all red right here. I'm like, everybody's like, you know, like something very precious breaks, and you're like, oh my! And we're like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm fine. All blood right here, glasses shattered. I'm like, geez. So those 2 was crazy. The second one, we needed a while to laugh at it because we wanted to make sure he was okay. But man, Coach Tark, he goes through it, man. I'm telling you. But those 2 stories, funny that I could think of. And then as a pro, I can't think of a funny story, but I remember a memorable one. I was overseas, and we were playing. I was in Maccabi Tel Aviv in Israel, and we beat Maccabi Tel Aviv in a cup during the season. And at that time, Hapoel Jerusalem don't really beat Maccabi. Maccabi's one of the best teams in Europe. It's like I always call them the Lakers of Europe because they were such a rich franchise. And so the commute from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem is about 45 minutes on the highway. And so we beat them. And so it took us almost an hour, 2 hours to get to our destination because the fans kept getting in front of the bus, banging on the bus, yay, cheering. And we're like, we're never going to get to Jerusalem. They just kept cheering all the way up the highway, just celebrating the fact that we beat Maccabi. So that was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had, just seeing the team get celebrated that much because we beat arguably the best team in Israel.
That's
the best
wild.
team in Israel. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Cool story.
That is wild. See, if I go back to mine, I would say during the Fresno State, right, I used to, you know, a lot of the practices, I always used to love anytime I could catch a lob and get a dunk on one of you guys, right? Like if I could catch
some good ones. Yeah, we got after
or somebody, right? Like to where like my entire thing would be I'm lining up and I'm just like I just want to dunk on somebody because then I get that.
Yeah.
But I look at New York over Thanksgiving, our opportunity to go to Ground Zero in 01 shortly after, right? And you and I talked a little bit about that. And like that really changed me as a person because it gave me this like insane perspective of what really had happened that like TV could never provide. Yeah. And you know, the you know, traveling and the trips to Hawaii you know, were awesome. Playing those last 8 games, getting an opportunity to play 15 to 20 minutes and try to make a push when we were so injury ridden, like that really for me was fun to do with all of you guys. I always used to say, like, you know, people had things, you know, with everything Mel went through. I'm like, I drove Mel around in my car because he didn't have a car, and like people had all these opinions, and so I had this just really strong, you know, experience with you guys.
Yeah.
And I knew, you know, you and Shauna and Trav and Katie, and it was like, this was very different.
Yeah, it was.
And at Davis, you know, it was an up and down deal as we went through, and partially because the way that Coach Stewart coached that program was not about building confidence. It was more militant style. We didn't have a lot of continuity, but we beat my senior year. It was a really down start. We were having to play all freshmen, and because a lot of guys had quit, and it was frustrating. And there was points where I actually, thought, do I want to keep doing this? And I had an assistant coach, Greg Klink, call me my sophomore year, and was the reason I decided I didn't, probably the reason I didn't just quit and go play baseball was like what he did. And heading into my senior year, looking around going, I'm the only senior playing because the only other one's hurt. We have all freshmen.
Wow.
Decent talent, like bigger, we're in the Big West, but they're youngsters, and they're all kind of like looking to the future. They're, I don't want to, not arrogant, they're cocky because they're youngsters and they don't know better. They're like playing. They're playing. Like they don't know.
The biggest one.
They haven't had to earn it yet. So like you're trying to teach them, and we're struggling, we're losing, and then we, getting a win against Stanford at home was a big like moment that like kind of set the tone. Which I share the story because it was a big win, and to this day, like people will still bring that up because it was a big moment. I then got to go play baseball later that year and pitch and beat Stanford in baseball. So it was like two sports played. But
good stuff.
All that being fun, next week, so we play Stanford, we win. It's like we're going to turn a corner. Then we played Reno, and we had played Reno back when
Nevada.
Kirk Snyder and all those guys were there. Ramon Sessions, like that crew.
Yep.
And I think that year it was
Sessions.
like Nick Fazekas was the guy, and they waxed us. Like, so we just beat Stanford with the Clovis West connection and Chris Hernandez. And,
I had to deal with him in high school too.
Yep. And so you think, okay, we're going to turn a corner, but then we turn around and Nevada Reno just obliterates us. And then we were back to like wet towels on the floor, white T-shirts, mopping the floor. Like I'm like going all the way back to freshman year. And I looked at that experience as like the recognition of never being able to celebrate anything for very long. Yeah. Because it felt so good to get the monkey off our back and get a win. And then we turned around and we were right back in like.
Can't imagine, man.
But great lessons,
Oh, yeah.
Great lessons in it. And what I appreciate most, the relationships and being able to sit down and have these convos, man, and what we're doing with you and Shauna and Give Culture and what we're doing with Big Valley and Triple J Studios, man. This is all full circle helping each other out. And
for sure.
Appreciate you making the time to come and do this, my guy, man.
I'm honored, man. It's my pleasure, bro.
It's going to be will be more to come. We'll set up a guest appearance here. We'll do one with the Blitz break, but with that, man, that's been another episode of the Triple J Sports Podcast. My guy Noel Felix, longtime pro, Give Culture coach, giving back to the youth, and longtime pro with a story to tell. Liking the get up, and thanks again, Noel. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, brother. Yep. Much love, baby. Always.